The Invaders is an American science fiction television program created by Larry Cohen that aired on ABC for 2 seasons, from January 10, 1967 to March 26, 1968. Dominic Frontiere, who had provided scores for 12 O'Clock High and The Outer Limits, provided scores for The Invaders as well. The series was a Quinn Martin production. Premise: Roy Thin stars as architect David Vincent, who accidentally learns of a secret alien invasion already underway and thereafter travels from place to place attempting to foil the aliens' plots and warn a skeptical populace of the danger. As the series progresses, Vincent is able to convince a small number of people to help him fight the aliens. It was notable that normally at least one individual, often a key figure, such as a USAF intelligence officer, a police officer, a U.S. Army major, or a NASA official would become aware of the alien threat and survive the episode in which he or she was introduced. In The Leeches, a millionaire survives an alien abduction after being rescued by Vincent, while in Quantity, a Nona scientist is convinced of alien technology. In The Saucer guest stars Anne Francis and Charles Drake witness an alien saucer's landing. In the second season, larger groups of surviving witnesses were featured in episodes and 3 scientists in Labyrinth, most significantly millionaire industrialist Edgar Scoville, who became a semi-regular character as of December 1967, heading a small but influential group from the episode The Believers. Later episodes saw the military involved as Vincent's claims were now clearly being taken more seriously. In The Miracle After an Alien Encounter, Vincent manages to retain a piece of alien technology both as evidence and for examination by both his group and the authorities. It can be seen that an undercurrent of at least partial credulity among authority figures regarding Vincent's claims was depicted, even in the first season, as in early episodes such as The Mutation, where a security agent is keeping an eye on Vincent, while in The Innocent the USAF officer guns down an alien who self-incinerates in front of him, tying in with Vincent's claims, while at the end of the episode, after apparently disbelieving Vincent, he then phones USAF security to run a full background check on an officer Vincent claimed was an alien. In Moonshot, the NASA official is fully expecting Vincent to arrive, and in Condition, Red NORAD officer and staff witness an alien UFO formation on screen, and are left convinced. Each of these incidents are kept to just the individual episodes, yet any possible hint at official backing of Vincent might explain how, with no apparent regular job or income, he could travel all over the USA with expensive cameras, hired cars, and stay in good accommodation, while taking on the Invaders. With Vincent simply being apparently dismissed as a crank to the public by the authorities, thus viewers were left to draw their own conclusions as to the situation regarding Vincent's actual standing. Some controversy arose regarding the sudden ending of the TV show after Season 2, as it was deemed no proper ending had been written, yet the final Season 2 episode Inquisition does stand as some kind of series conclusion where Vincent finally convinces a key figure, an initially skeptical special assistant to the Attorney General, that the Invaders have arrived, after first defeating an alien plan with a special weapon, the closing narration being that Vincent, Edgar Scoville, and the now convinced special assistant will join forces as the vanguard to watch for any return of the Invaders. Thus this episode could be deemed to have seen Vincent achieve his goal of convincing disbelieving authorities at least, and the Invaders' plans at least temporarily thwarted, leaving the door open for any possible later sequel or spin-off show, etc. Neither the Invaders nor their planet were ever named. Their human appearance was a disguise. They were only shown in their true form in one episode, Genesis, in which an ill alien researcher loses his human form and is briefly seen immersed in a tank of water. Unless they receive periodic treatments in what Vincent called regeneration chambers, which consume a great deal of electrical power, they revert to their alien form. One scene in the series showed an alien beginning to revert, filmed in soft focus and with pulsating red light. They had certain characteristics by which they could be detected, such as the absence of a pulse and the inability to bleed. Most of the aliens, in particular the lowest-ranking members or workers in green jumpsuits, were emotionless and had mutated little fingers which could not move and were bent at an unnatural angle, although there were deluxe models, who could manipulate this finger. There were also a number of mutant aliens, who experienced emotions similar to those of humans, and who even opposed the alien takeover. The existence of the invaders could not be documented by killing one and examining the body. When they died, their bodies would glow red and disintegrate along with their clothes and anything else they were touching leaving little more than traces of black ash. On several occasions, a dying alien would deliberately touch a piece of their technology to prevent it from falling into the hands of humans. Inspiration: the series was produced by Quinn Martin, who was looking for a show to replace the immensely popular The Fugitive, which was ending its run in 1967. Larry Cohen, the show's creator, had conceived two earlier series with similarities to The Invaders. Chuck Connors starred in Branded as a soldier court-martialed for cowardice, who traveled the West searching for witnesses and proof that he had acted valiantly, and Coronet Blue about Michael Alden, a man suffering from amnesia who was being pursued by a powerful group of people. All he could remember were the words Coronet Blue. Another inspiration was the wave of alien doppelganger currency in Gare films which had come 10 years before in the 1950s, typified by Invasion of the Body Snatchers and the British film Quatermass 2, known in America as Enemy from Space. While these paranoid tales of extraterrestrials who lived among us, posing as humans while planning a takeover, are usually linked with a Red Scare subtext, Martin simply wanted a premise that would keep the hero moving around and that would explain why he could not go to the authorities. However, as the series unfolded, the various disappearances of people in episodes, those installed alien figures revealed to be aliens by Vincent thus having to withdraw, plus the surviving one or two key human witnesses in most episodes did rather alter the basic premise of the show to something deeper and more thought-provoking early on. The basic idea of just one man standing between Earth being invaded by an entire alien force with advanced technology, rather stretched viewer credulity. The episodes do however have curious undercurrents both regarding the political overtones and quite subtle hints that more was going on than at first appeared, making it a far more compelling show than it first might appear, anticipating later such shows as The X-Files and Dark Skies etc., which were clearly influenced to a degree by The Invaders. The flying saucer design was influenced by two UFO photographs. The first case happened in 1965 in Santa Ana, California. On August 3, the highway traffic engineer Rex Heflin took several pictures of a flying craft, while working near the Santa Ana freeway. Heflin did not report his sighting, but the photographs were published by the Santa Ana Register on September 20, 1965. The second is the Adamski case. On December 13, 1952 in Palomar Gardens, California, USA, the contactee George Adamski took a series of photographs through his telescope, of a bell-shaped craft, today well known as the Adamski scout ship. The upper hull, and flat top from the Heflin case were combined with the bell-shaped outer flange and three rings of the Adamski case. The 5 hemispheres in the bottom of the craft seem to emulate the 3 semispheres in the Adamski scout ship. Opening sequence: before each episode, an in-color promo bumper, typical of most ABC programs of the era, appears, as ABC was the last network to adopt color programming. Next, The Invaders, in color. Then, following the bumper, each episode begins with a cold open, to help set up the plot of the episode to come. After the prologue, the main title appears, announced by Dick Wesson, The Invaders. A Quinn Martin production. Starring Roy Thins as architect David Vincent. A different shot of Thins' face was used for the second season. This would be followed by the opening narration, The Invaders, alien beings from a dying planet. Their destination, the Earth. Their purpose, to make it their world. David Vincent has seen them. For him, it began one lost night on a lonely country road, looking for a shortcut that he never found. It began with a closed deserted diner, and a man too long without sleep to continue his journey. It began with the landing of a craft from another galaxy. Now David Vincent knows that the invaders are here, that they have taken human form. Somehow he must convince a disbelieving world that the nightmare has already begun. Then, in a manner typical of Quinn Martin Productions, Wesson would announce the guest stars in tonight's story. And finally, the title of the episode about to be viewed. This format, curiously, served to abruptly undermine the viewer's suspension of disbelief that had just been painstakingly established in the voice-over introduction. Alien technology, the type of spaceship by which the invaders reached the Earth, is a flying saucer of a design derivative of that shown in the contestable early 1950s photographs of self-proclaimed UFO contactee George Adamski, but instead of having 3 spheres on the underside, the invaders' craft has 5 shallower protrusions. It was a principle of the production crew to not show them with set and prop designs and control panels that were utterly alien from the conventional human ones. They use a small, handheld, disc-shaped weapon with 5 glowing white lights applied to the back of the victim's head or neck to induce a seemingly natural death, which is usually diagnosed as a cerebral hemorrhage. They also employ powerful weapons to disintegrate witnesses, vehicles and, in one episode, a sick member of their own race whose infection side effects were resulting in unwanted notoriety. Also in their arsenal is a small device consisting of 2 spinning transparent crystals joined at their corners which forces human beings to do the aliens' bidding. Cold War overtones. For many viewers, the theme of paranoia infusing the invaders often appeared to reflect Cold War fears of communist infiltration that had lingered from the McCarthy period a decade earlier. Series creator Larry Cohen has acknowledged that this was intended, along with a political theme for the series as a whole. In audio commentary for the episode The Innocent, included in the first season DVD collection, Cohen said his knowledge of the blacklisting of Hollywood screenwriters for their communist connections inspired him to make a mockery of the fear of insidious infiltration of society, by substituting space aliens for communists. Cohen also acknowledged he was not the first to turn Cold War fears into science fiction drama. As noted above, such fears had influenced such films as Invasion of the Body Snatchers and especially I Married a Monster from Outer Space. Cohen also stated in his commentary that the political intent inherent in some of his creations, including The Invaders, was not always appreciated or shared by left-wing producers and actors. It should be noted that in an interview shown in the special features segment included on the DVD release of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, star Kevin McCarthy strongly denied any desire by director Don Siegel or the film's writer to connect the invading body snatchers to communists. The Invaders. After the original series, since the 1960s, recurring public interest in UFO lore may have helped to revive interest in the television series, and commentary on the DVD collections acknowledges that, in private life, Thins has kept up a strong interest in UFO-related information. In 1995, the premise was used as the basis for a 3-hour television miniseries titled The Invaders. Scott Bakula starred as Nolan Wood, who discovers the alien conspiracy, and Roy Thins reprised his role from the series of David Vincent, now an old man handing the burden over to Wood. The miniseries has been released in some countries on home video, edited into a single movie. The miniseries bore very little similarity to Quinn Martin's TV show, however. The aliens had no characteristics in common with their predecessors besides just looking human, and their technology differed. David Vincent's character, who made little more than a cameo, exits the story without explanation, and the miniseries has no continuity with where the TV show left off. The pilot episode of the series, Beachhead, was remade in 1977 for another Quinn Martin series, Quinn Martin's Tales of the Unexpected, where it was retitled The Nomads. Thins also provided audio commentary for the official The Invaders DVD releases. He has also filmed special video introductions for every episode, which are an optional play feature on the episode menus. The in-color bumper follows each of these introductions. The Invaders Abroad, the show proved to be enormously popular in France, and it is still a local favorite, inspiring books, comics, songs, comedy skits, and even TV advertising commercials. In Italy, it became a popular filler for syndicated TV stations in the 1980s. The series had also a good success in South America and Germany. Other media. Books 10 books based on the television series were published. Army of the Undead by Rafe Bernard. The same story as Halo Highway, The Autumn Accelerator by Peter Leslie, 1967, Enemies from Beyond by Keith Laumer, Halo Highway by Rafe Bernard. The same story as Army of the Undead, Invaders by Keith Laumer, Meteor Man by Keith Laumer, Dam of Death by Jack Pearl, 1967, The Invaders, Alien Missile Threat by Paul S. Newman, Night of the Trilobites by Peter Leslie, The Invaders by Jim Rosin. Comics Gold Key Comics published 4 issues of an Invaders comic book based upon the series in 1967 to 1968, years before Marvel Comics published their own, unrelated Invaders superhero series. In popular culture, the struggles of David Vincent are referenced in the Frank Black song Bad, Wicked World. An architect named David Vincent / a man too long without sleep / he took a wrong turn and people just laughed / fist-throwing crusader / against invaders. MAD Magazine issue number 119, presented a TV satire of the Invaders titled OE The Invasion as a Euro. Episodes Season 1 Season 2 DVD releases. CBS DVD has released the entire series on DVD in Regions 1, 2 and PAL4. References. External links: The Invaders at the Internet Movie Database, The Invaders at Classic TV History, The Invaders Informational Episode Guide, The Invaders Informational Website, The Invaders Television Trailer at YouTube.